See his foreign cars, trips to Paris, France, say la vie, au revoir. Manifest my goals, stay focused, work hard. Limits never hindered, I will go beyond the stars. I'm aiming high now, aiming past the motherfucking sky now.
Hey, what's going on, Canes fan? It's your boy, Dan the Man, aka Coach D, aka the Sofa Coach. If you can follow me on Twitter at the Sofa Coach. We're gonna talk some Canes football. We're actually gonna sit here. This is my first. I'm a big Hurricanes fan. My favorite team, period. From Miami, Florida, and I love the Hurricanes. So, I follow a lot of the guys on Twitter and Instagram. I definitely watch a lot of takes. I'm very opinionated about the Hurricanes, but on this channel, on my channel, I'm gonna try to be as non-biased as possible and really take my Cane shades off to a certain degree. I'm a reasonable Cane to a certain extent. That's what it says on Twitter. So follow me at the Sofa Coach. But yeah, we're gonna talk the 2021 Miami Hurricanes schedule. So I'm actually pulling it up right now. I want to go kind of game by game. I'm gonna do more of an in-depth opponent by opponent later on. But I just want to kind of talk about their schedule. What I think thus far, what I'm seeing right now, what to expect. Sorry about that. What to expect with the Hurricanes this year. Let's dive on into it, okay? So here we are. 2021 Miami Hurricanes schedule. So everybody knows that today, it was actually released today, that the game time for game number 1, y'all know who it is. The Alabama Crimson Tide will be playing them at 3:30 p.m. on Saturday, September the 4th. So that's going to be a good one. So we can start with Alabama. Based on what I've been reading online, the videos I've watched, some of the sports analysts looking at that game, nobody's giving Miami a fair opportunity to win that game. And, I'm going to go, I actually disagree, not because I'm a Hurricanes fan, because I think that people are looking at Miami. Obviously, you have to give let's just be honest, right? I'm one of them Canes fans. I always talk about the 01 Hurricanes, because I grew up. That was the team when I was growing up. They were lit. The early 2000 Canes were, in my opinion, still the best teams I've seen. But as of lately, the last 10 years, it's been Alabama. You got to give respect to Bama. They've been dominating lately, and it's something that we want to see Miami get back to. A lot of our fans, we're caught up with the past, unfortunately, because we have seen higher quality ball, and we're constantly comparing the new Hurricane teams to what we saw in the past. But with this Alabama game, right? Everybody's saying Miami's. I've seen comments 50-3, 66-3, 80 to nothing. I'm telling you, wild scores. But, the reason I say Miami, you got to give Miami, people need to respect that game a little bit more and respect the Hurricanes. If I'm not mistaken, they scored about 34 points a game last year, which was, it was a huge step up from the year before with Rhett Lashlee. And I think going into that game next year, that's going to be one of the keys, Miami's offense. And I think that people are not looking at how much talent is returning this year. With the Miami Hurricanes, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And on top of that, we're adding players. We've added Charleston Rambo, who looks to be either wide receiver 1A, and then you're going to have Harley at 1B. That's going to be a deadly combination. And if we can get him back to his 2019 form, it's going to be a problem, considering the fact that D'Eriq King is coming back, And he's on schedule. He's crushing all the rehabilitation. All his rehab. He's killing it right now. So there's reason to be optimistic going into that game. I think the biggest key in that game is going to be Miami's offense. If D'Eriq King comes back, and also biggest thing, the Canes got to stay healthy going into the fall camp. No major injuries. If they're not nicked up and they're pretty much full to go, they're bringing their whole squad to Atlanta. That game, in my opinion, given the fact that Alabama, people have to understand, though Alabama is going to reload, though Alabama is going to be, a top 10, top 5, top 3 team probably again, especially in the preseason, given the fact they get the #1 recruiting class every year. I mean, you know, Alabama, I mean, you know, Miami's a team that you got to respect. I lost my train of thought, first video. But Alabama, you know, we know they're going to have talent. They always have talent, but it's unproven talent. Miami has proven talent coming back, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Another key thing, Miami's ability to score. Obviously, it's going to be one with the defense. That's what we're all waiting on. You know, can Manny Diaz give us the magic he had in 2017 and 2018? If we can recreate that magic on defense, and if our offense continues to improve like they did last year, they take another step year 2 in Rhett Lashley's offense. I mean, you look at what Miami has coming back at the receivers, not to mention the young, talented receivers. We already have X-Man, who's been showing out in spring. Young receiver, Xavier Restrepo, looks great. You know, you got Mike Harley, you got Rambo, who's going to show you he's going to probably be a 1,000-yard receiver based on what I'm looking at right now, what I've seen, and knowing the defenses we have in the ACC. 1,000 yards, and I'm expecting Harley to be around that 1,000, anywhere between 9 and 1,000 as well. We could very well have 2,000-yard receivers if my guy can stay healthy at tight end. He you know, if our tight end can stay healthy, you know, we can have a 600-yard receiving tight end. And then you got to understand our running backs. Our biggest thing though is my boy Chaney. I know he's going through surgery right now. Or he had the surgery, and they're saying he probably won't be back for, I think, the week after the Alabama game, or the week or 2 weeks after game 2 or 3 or something like that. We might not have him, but guess what? We got Rooster, you know, we got Cam, and people got to put some respect on Cam, man. And a very veteran O-line coming back. You know, it's a lot to be optimistic about in this game. So I think Miami. I think the biggest thing is going to be this. Obviously, the offense. That's what's going to win us the game. Let's just be honest with you. But people need to, you know, I know, because I was pissed off with the defense last year. I have a mindset that you should attack on both sides of the ball. And I've said this years ago, I've been saying this for long. If Miami could get an offense that's aggressive and a defense to match, they're going to be a top 10 team. They're going to win a national championship. And I truly believe that. And I think that if Manny Diaz and Rhett Lashley can improve off of last year, Manny Diaz can recreate some of that magic, bringing back Jess Simpson, getting T-Rob, the new outside linebackers coach. They get that tackling on point, giving, you know, Bob Shoop as an analyst and everything like that. Man, Miami's defense could be top 15. If they have a top 15 defense and a top 20, top 15 offense, or even a top 20 defense and a top 15 offense, that's a playoff team right there. Like, put some respect on it, you know. And I will tell people this, and I'll tell you, you know, that game for me right now is a toss-up. I think it can go either way. I'm gonna respect Alabama because it's Nick Saban. He's the greatest coach of all time. But I'm also gonna respect the fact that Miami has a great coaching staff now. You know, they're really getting guys that can recruit and coach. Guys that are, and I'm not knocking the old staff, but I'm just being honest. More proven guys on the coaching staff. I think this Miami team, and man, listen, y'all better put some respect on the Hurricanes. I'm not saying they're gonna blow Alabama out. I'm saying that if Alabama goes into that game thinking that it's sweet, they can get upset. Considering if Miami's defense, if Miami can really generate a pass rush, I'm sorry, I said offense. If the defense can get a pass rush, and I'm kind of going everywhere right now, so y'all gotta let me get more organized. But hey, it's all good. Now if the defense can get a pass rush, I'm telling you, we get after that boy Bryce Young, man. Alabama, and we can get him to throw a couple of interceptions or fumble the ball, get a couple of turnovers, short field, score quickly. That game's gonna be very interesting, and I think the key is Miami just getting through fall camp healthy. If the Canes get through fall camp healthy, that's gonna be the game of the day. And no disrespect to Clemson and Georgia, that's gonna be an exciting game because it's gonna be a lot of points. I think it's gonna be more of a, you know, I'm not gonna give you a game prediction. I'm gonna say it's gonna go either way with this particular game. Either way, I think it all depends on what Miami how Miami comes out. If they come out ready, if they come out focused, limit the mistakes, I think they can make this a very, very interesting game. If not, you know, Canes fans, y'all already know, I love you. I'm gonna keep the, you know what's gonna happen. Another thing, just to throw this out here, and then we're gonna go to the next team. Remember LSU in 2018, the team that beat us, nobody thought Joe Burrow would look like the most average quarterback. Nobody thought that LSU was going to be what they were. They came back the very next year, the same exact talent. They brought all that talent back. One of the greatest teams I've seen in the last 20 years of college football. So, and Miami's got a lot of talent coming back, and their coach is coming picking over the defense. I'm telling you, that game could be very interesting. Moving on to Appalachian State, though. Because I'll talk about, we're going to do a separate Alabama video, and I'll really give you my score by score, and I'll go even more in depth. But I kind of talked a lot about that game. But yeah, that's the game we all care about anyway, right? Appalachian State. All right. Miami just has to, whatever happens, whether they beat Alabama or they lose Alabama, they got to take App State seriously. That's a potential trap game, especially if they overlook them. Personally, I think Miami should get the W. They just got too much talent on both sides of the field. One of the more exciting players I'm excited about on the defensive side is Tyreek. I think he's gonna be I truly think the corners for Miami are gonna be much improved. DJ Ivey they let this man play bump and run. He has an NFL body. They let this man really just use his body and his physicality to his advantage. We got some physical linebackers, the Corey Couch. And my boy Blaze is coming back. I'm just saying, man. So yeah, Miami should win that game. Miami literally would have to shit the bed to lose that game. Michigan State. Now, Michigan State last year, they're not. That is a potential trap game. That could be another trap game. Michigan State's definitely not what they used to be 5 years ago. But it's a team that you got to respect. They got Big Ten players. They're going to have some big body offensive linemen. They're going to try to play a physical team. They're going to try to honestly hit Miami in the mouth. So I think Miami just needs to take that game serious. I think that's a game Miami should win. I think, Appalachian State, going back to them, I think they Miami should win that game by 21 points or more. At least 21 points, 3 touchdowns. That's just me, Michigan State, I think that's a game Miami should win convincingly too. Michigan State wasn't a good team last year. They're going to be improved this year, but I think Miami's just recruiting over the past couple years. They're adding a lot of talent is coming into Miami. Miami's starting to get some of the big time guys, and they got a big time coaching staff. As far as proven recruiters that may be able to get the job done. The CCU Blue Devils. So I think Miami should win that game. CCU. Central Connecticut. That should be Miami. That should be their. I'm a FAMU alumni, but the score should be similar to like when they play my school, Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, October 3rd, 1887. What? You feel me? But yeah, they should blow them out, man. That should be a blowout. Virginia. Now listen, I'm gonna tell you guys something. There's a couple of teams that I hate in the ACC, but I'm gonna still talk shit because I'm a Hurricanes fan at the end of the day. Virginia Cavaliers, like Miami needs to. That game last year was so freaking frustrating. That shit pissed me off. It pissed a lot of fans off. But how they played, but they got the dub. We get Virginia at home again this year. Miami should win that game. I respect their coach. Believe he coached at like BYU before that. But yeah, Virginia. They're gonna have some athletes, and it's the ACC. They're getting into the ACC play. So, and the reason those games are closer, because these guys play with each other every year. It's their game plan. They have time, and they're familiar with each other. Miami should get the dub on that one. North Carolina, the North Carolina Tar Heels. So this is the one. For me personally as a fan, I have a couple games that I'm like a couple teams. You know, I'm gonna give you my little hate list. Teams that I want to, whose asses that I want to whoop this year. Mack Brown, respect to Mack Brown as a coach. I think he's a great coach. I mean, he is. I mean, track record speaks for itself. Miami has to win this game. This game is pretty much going to determine who's going to win the Coastal. I mean, you might have Virginia Tech somehow make some noise, because you know Virginia Tech's weird. They tend to freaking have these weird teams. We'll get down to them, but yeah, North Carolina, they lost a lot. They lost, thank goodness, Mr. 300 yards and Mr. 200 yards, who ran all over us the last time we played. So, I mean, I think with North Carolina, I mean, the Hurricanes just have to, they got to get pass rush on there. Sam Howell's arguably going to probably be the first pick. He's probably the best quarterback coming out this year, next year's NFL draft. So they're going to be ready. They're going to be cocky. It's up at Kenan Memorial Stadium in Chapel Hill. So, that's a team that's on my personal bucket list. I mean, they kind of replaced Virginia Tech for a hate list. I think for me personally, it's Florida State and then North Carolina. You know, I just don't like them. I just don't like how they disrespected the U the last couple years, how they've been just throwing it upside. That Miami has to go in there. They got to make a statement that game. I think Miami has a chance. I mean, that's another game. I'm about 55-45 on that game. I think Miami has more talent coming back, more proven talent coming back. The only thing North Carolina has really in that game is Sam Howell that you got to worry about. They're going to have some athletes. They got a good recruiting class. They've been getting some good recruiting classes together under Mack Brown. But ultimately, I think that's a game the Canes should win. I think that most people are going to feel like they're going to lose. They should lose. But I think people are really underestimating that return in production. If Miami can stay healthy, I think they should. I think Miami can really win that game. It's gonna be a tough game now. It's gonna be a high scoring game probably. You know, but then again, you know what I want to do is a fun fact, right? I was looking at the Miami North Carolina like rivalry or whatever, right? So let me pull this up. I actually it's something that's interesting, right? Miami, I'm gonna pull it up real time versus UNC rivalry. And so we go to their wins against each other, their series record, right? We can go all the way down to the games. As a matter of fact, this is the wrong page, right? History shows, and this is very interesting, right? History shows.
Okay, here are some historical shows.
Sorry, Siri, you weren't supposed to say anything.
No need to apologize.
Alright. So yeah, we'll go to the North Carolina game. So alright, we're gonna start 2010, right? 2010, North Carolina won that game. 33 to they won. I want to say North Carolina won that game. No, Miami won that game. Miami won that game. I want to go to the last couple of years. Right, here we go. This is where the trend starts. So 2013 is where it starts. What I've noticed. Miami won that game in 2013, 27 and 23. The next year, they blew North Carolina out, 47 to 20. Then North Carolina plays Miami. They beat Miami 59 to 21. The next year is very close. It's 2013. The very next year, Miami plays North Carolina. They win 24-19. Then the next year, Miami blows North Carolina out, 47 to 10. Then the next year, North Carolina wins another close game, 25 to 28. Then the very next year, they blow Miami out, 62 to 26. Based on that trend alone, it's looking like the Hurricanes, you know, it's either going to be a very close game or it could be a blowout. I'm hoping a blowout, personally, because I don't like what North Carolina did. I respect Mack Brown as a coach, but you disrespected you. We got pressure, and they're on my hate list. They right up there with Florida and Florida State, Notre Dame, and all the other teams, and Georgia too, because I live in Atlanta now. So But yeah, I mean, that's just my take on it. So I'm 55-45%. I'm gonna give respect to North Carolina because what they did to Miami, but I think Miami has enough talent to go ahead and take care of it. Another game, NC State, dub. That's just how I feel. Miami just can't, depending on how that game North Carolina goes, it's going to kind of determine what kind of game NC State can be. I think if Miami goes up there and beats North Carolina and handles business, I think that they're going to, it could be a blowout when they could blow out North Carolina State. If they lose to North Carolina, NC State, that could be another game where it's like, we don't need them to trend backwards because, over the past couple of years, Miami loses one of the games that they're hyped up about. The very next game, they tend to kind of teeter backwards. Last year, they showed me some fight. They showed a little bit. They were different last year. So I'm hoping the Hurricanes can keep that trend of, one game at a time. You're not going to win them all. Hopefully you do. You can't win them all. Hopefully you do. Hopefully they get that dub. So I think they're going to beat North Carolina. I'm definitely about 70-30 on that game. I think Miami should win that game by about 14 and more, especially if they're on their A game. Pittsburgh. Ooh. Them boys caught. When I first, we all know Pitt's one of those annoying-ass teams. Because you don't know what kind of Pitt, because, Pitt is always going to have a really good stout defense, especially defensive line. Got to respect it. I think Miami should win that game. They handle business. I think it's going to be, it's October. It's not super, super cold yet. It's going to be kind of chilly. Miami should win that game. I think the Canes will get that dub. Back down to Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets. Georgia Tech. So I live here in Atlanta, and I see the signs, the fourth the culture, or whatever they're trying to do. Respect to them and what they're trying to bring. They're trying to get a lot of the kids. Because, they've been... And I keep looking this way. I'm looking at the screen, and then the camera's right here. So if I do that, sorry, guys. But yeah, I think Georgia Tech is another team you got to respect. I'm just kidding. You got to respect them, but Miami's going to beat that ass, I think. Miami should beat Georgia Tech, honestly. I think Miami should win that game by at least 14. I think Georgia Tech's going to be a tough team. Like, Miami can't go into that game feeling like it's, like Georgia Tech's going to lay down, but I got Miami winning that game. I'm 70-30 on that game. Now, November motherfucking 13th. Excuse my language, but Florida State, the Florida State Seminoles. Yes, Miami's going to win this game. I have no doubt in my mind. It's going to be interesting now. It might be a little bit more interesting than Canes fans think. I think this game can go one or two ways. I think Miami could continue the trend of whooping that ass. It could, go from a 52-10 ass whooping to maybe a 63-10 ass whooping. Miami, really, I'm hoping they go up there and they just disrespect Florida State. I got family that went to FSU. One of my cousins went there. I went to FAMU. Not a Florida State fan. I respect their program, but I was at FAM during the 7-year. The beatings they gave us, and I remember just seeing their fans and how cocky they were and how they felt about Miami. They looked at us like, they talked about us like we were Duke. That's how they looked, especially, FSU had their little run or whatever. Yeah, I think Miami is going to go one or two ways. I can either see it being Miami scoring. I think Miami's going to score over 40 in this game. Florida State, it could be like Miami winning by 14-21. Or you could have another 7-touchdown victory like they did last year. We beat them 52-10. So we could beat them by another 42 points. I can either see I can see that game Miami winning anywhere by 20 or 40 points. That's just me. But I do think Florida State's going to be more improved. That's not a game Miami has to take lightly. Florida State's definitely going to be ready for Miami. They added Randy Shannon, my guy. They're trying to make it then in South Florida recruiting. Florida State, you never want to, because even when Miami was down and trash, we were, especially on the Al Golden, goodness. We took some of their best teams they've had in the last 20 years. Especially in 2015, 2014, we took them down. We should have won those games. Those were games Miami should have won, but so Miami can't go into that game overconfident because FSU is waiting. If Miami goes in there with an attitude like, yeah, it's time to whoop ass, they're going to whoop Florida State's ass. I think Miami's going to win that game. Virginia Tech, another team. Miami just can't take, because they're rivals, you know. Virginia Tech's another rival. I used to hate Virginia Tech growing up, especially, I mean, I still don't like them. I respect all these programs. Yeah, Virginia Tech, I think Miami gets the dub. I'm 60-40 on that Florida State game. As we get closer to the season, I need to see what's going on with transfers and everything like that. But Florida State hasn't really added anybody that I personally have seen that scares me too much. I think Mackenzie Milton has to be respected. Miami has to get pressure on him to blow them out. If they can't get pressure, if Florida State's offensive line can hold up and give him time because he has a quick release and he's very accurate, that game again could be more interesting and a little bit more uncomfortable than Miami Hurricanes fans would like. So yeah, Virginia Tech though. Virginia Tech is another one. You know, I think that Miami should win that game. It's at home. I'm 60-40 on that. I think Miami, that's a game Miami personally, with our talent versus their talent. I really don't know who Virginia Tech has, which is why I'm going to do it game by game so I can have everybody's rosters and I'll be a little bit more organized. But I think Miami should win that game by at least 10. So I got the Canes winning that game by at least 10, and then we go on to Duke. Duke. We beat them 48-0. Where's my hat at? We're going to do a game day pick. Where's my hat? Alright, guys. This may shock you. We're going to beat their ass again. The Hurricanes are going to beat Duke again. Going to whoop that ass. 48-0 last year in freaking Durham. And they're coming to the crib. Ain't no way. Unless Duke, we're going to bust that ass. I got Miami by at least 30 in that game. And then the ACC championship, because, yeah, you know, I think the Hurricanes, you know, I'm not going to put my Canes glasses on, but I do think they have a very, very good chance. It's going to obviously come down to them in North Carolina. I think they're going to get to the ACC championship game, especially if they can remain healthy, because I just think Miami just has more talent than everybody in the Coastal Division this year. If North Carolina had all those guys they had last year coming back, I'd be a little bit different about that game. I still think that game would go, you know, it would be, I still think that game would be something that you got to watch out for, but I would be a little bit more hesitant. I'd probably be more 50-50, maybe leaning towards North Carolina if they had everybody coming back. But they don't, so I'm rocking with the Hurricanes. I think the Hurricanes are going to get that done. So I think the Hurricanes are going to make it to the ACC championship, obviously. Unless Florida State or Louisville comes up with a super team and they get like the most amazing, they gotta add like 5 people in the transfer portal and wide receiver, quarterback, and I'm talking about top tier. I think it's gonna be Clemson versus Miami, and you know, we'll see what happens with that game. That game is just like Alabama, you know, you don't know. Miami's advantage is they have more production coming back. They have, I think, third in college football amount of production coming back next year. So yeah, you know, we never know. But I think that overall, based on the schedule, is hopefully that they play a full season. They're expected to. I can't see more than, and at worst, Hurricanes fans, this Hurricanes team should go 10-2 at worst. I think, obviously, the ceiling, hopefully, I'm praying for a 12-0. I would love a 12-0 season. I would love a 12-0 season. That'd be 20 years since, the 01 team or whatever. But, I'm thinking, at worst, 10-2. I'm saying that I think the Hurricanes are going to win at least 11 games this season. So, 11-1, 12-0, but I'm going to say 11 games, And we'll see, I know Alabama fans are, oh, you're a homer. No, I'm a realist, Again, LSU was trash. LSU was not what you thought they were the year before. They came in, they switched up the offense, and the rest is history. Joe Burrow did not look like a Heisman candidate. But that next year, they put the work in the offseason. So if the Hurricanes go or focus this offseason, they continue to with David Feely doing an excellent job in the strength and conditioning program. I think Miami should be respected, and you're looking at an 11+ win team. And I think the Hurricanes, if they stay healthy, and you know they may. Oh, my recording time went out. I guess I went too long. If the Hurricanes can, I think the Hurricanes can make a push. I don't know where I ended at or whatever, but I was saying I think if the Hurricanes can, I think this is an 11-win Hurricane team at least. And yeah, if they can get to the ACC championship game and somehow, you know, get it done with Dabo. I mean, again, this year for the Miami Hurricanes, this is the best time. This is the best time. Like, if there was a chance for the Miami Hurricanes to come back in college football and say, "Hey, we're back," I mean, it don't get no better than this. You get Alabama prime time, well, not prime time, but you get them first game of the season right out the gates. You gonna find out. That's what Miami used to be. I remember it used to be Florida State and Miami, #1, you know, top 5 teams every year, battling out beginning of the year, Labor Day weekend game or whatever. Yeah. So I mean, this is big boy football, you know. So Miami just has to go in there confident. They go in there confident. And they believe in their abilities. They try to limit the mistakes. Obviously, development on the coaching staff and the players know what they need to do in the offseason, man. The sky's the limit for this Miami Hurricanes team. So, yeah, I think the Hurricanes are 11-win team. At worst, 10-2. At best, 11+ wins. And potentially an ACC championship appearance, obviously. And if they handle that, obviously the playoffs. I mean, I think they need to expand the playoffs, but that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, you know, please help me how y'all felt about my video. I know I was kind of scrambling or stumbling a little bit. I'll go more in depth on what I think about the Miami Hurricanes. I'm really excited about this class that's coming in. Yeah, I think we got a lot of talent. We got a lot of speed. We got a lot of talent, especially on the offensive side of the field. James Williams is at the U now. Leonard Taylor is there. Vontae Williams, Bob Bolden, man. We got a little squad, man. The U needs to be respected. The U needs to be respected. It's all about the U. Follow me on at the Sofa Coach on Twitter. Also, you know, subscribe. I'm gonna be putting more videos up. We'll go game by game. You know, I'm gonna give you my, you know, and I can actually pull up the rosters and really look at teams and everything like that. But shit, tell me how y'all feel. I hope y'all have a blessed day. Go Canes. It's all about the U. It's all about that 305, you dig? South Florida, Broward County, Palm Beach County, obviously, Dade County, you dig? We live. It's the U, baby. It's the U, man. You know, we got to get it done. I think Miami's gonna be a very good team this year, though. That's my assessment. Let me know if you think I'm a homer. And yeah, that's what I think. Y'all have a blessed one.
Tried to keep it cool, but they want Miami Heat. They ain't worth the effort once upon I'm aiming high now, aiming past the motherfucking sky now. I'ma live my motherfucking life now, living in the moment, nigga, right now. I'm talking right now.